It's time to live your stronger life. Hey, I'm Sammy, physio coach and nutritionist, and your hype girl for creating your stronger life. Here, we ditch the quick fixes and build real strength inside and out. So whether you're here to tone up, drop the body fat, build muscle, mental resilience, or ditch the diet culture, or just feel bloody good in your skin, you're in the right place. So let's get into it. All right, let me paint the picture. You're eating less, you're tracking, you're being consistent, but you're absolutely starving. Like, not just a little bit peckish, but like a full-on, I can't stop thinking about food, opening the fridge every 20 minutes, dreaming about bread all night long, hungry. And it's exhausting, so you tell yourself, I just don't have the discipline, or you just love food too much, or I have no willpower, I have a snack problem. But what I want you to hear today is that you do not have any of the above. It is your body doing what it is meant to do in response to a hectic calorie deficit. And once you understand what's actually happening in your body when you eat in a deficit, you can stop fighting yourself and start working with your body instead. Today we're talking about hunger and why it happens and why some approaches make it feel so much worse and what you can actually do to feel fuller, feel better, and still be in a calorie deficit that produces results. So let's jump straight into it. Step 1, your body is not broken, it is doing its job. And I want you to start here because this matters to understand. When you eat less, you're eating in a calorie deficit. You're eating less than what your body needs to function day to day. Your body notices, and it doesn't just quietly accept it and carry on. It doesn't like being in a calorie deficit. It's going to respond. Your car wouldn't enjoy driving on zero petrol, right? Like, it's going to start making noises, and your body's doing the same thing, but it can just take a bit of time to catch up. So your body's number one priority in life is to survive, and it doesn't know that you're in a planned fat loss phase that isn't going to last forever, and you're going to exit it and go into maintenance, which you should do, which I know a lot of women also don't do that, but it doesn't know that you're like, it's okay, guys, I'm just going to diet for like 8 weeks, and then we're going to spend some time at maintenance, and then we'll go back into dieting phase. Like, it doesn't know that. It doesn't know you have a goal. It doesn't know that you need to drop the body fat. It just knows that energy coming in has dropped. And then it activates every tool it has to try and protect you. And part of that protection is hunger. Here's the hormone piece about hunger. So you have 2 key hormones that manage your hunger and satiety, leptin and ghrelin. And just think of them kind of like a bit of like a seesaw. So leptin is like your I'm full, stop eating hormone. And it is produced by fat cells. More fat cells means more leptin, means you feel satisfied, sort of. And as you lose body fat, your fat cells can shrink and leptin drops. When leptin drops, ghrelin rises. When ghrelin is your hunger hormone, it signals your brain to eat. It goes up when you're in a deficit. It goes up when you haven't eaten in a while. It goes up at night. It is persistent, and it can get louder and louder. As you get leaner, the hunger signals legitimately increase. That is your body doing exactly what it is designed to do. Knowing this doesn't make hunger go away, but it does mean you can stop blaming yourself for feeling it. It is literally hormones. And this balance between leptin and ghrelin, it can get really out of whack when you are severely obese. Like, it can actually almost flip it and do the opposite. There's things that can go a bit haywire when there's too much fat cells, too much hormones going on in the body. And then vice versa, if you have been in a crazy calorie deficit for a really long period of time, it can also really ramp up the ghrelin exceptionally, like beyond what you would just consider as normal as well. So your approach, like I kind of mentioned just then, might be making it worse. And this is why I see so many women making fat loss so much harder than it needs to be. Eat less, move more, cut harder, get results faster. The amount of women I've heard tell me, I'm just doing 1,200 calories. And I'm like, oh, okay, did someone set that up for you? Or like, where'd you get it from? Oh, I don't know, I just heard it, so I just thought I'd do it. 1,216, it's always those two. No, 1,215, they're always the two. And I'm like, you can't just go, I'm just going to do this one ass random number I'm pulling out of thin air because I think that's what's right for my body. Like, that's not how it works. So you go from eating it, you barely make it to 2,000, and then you drop it down to 1,200, and you cut your carbs out and you skip meals to save calories, and then you're absolutely miserable and have no energy levels. And here's what really aggressive deficit does. Beyond just makes you hungry, do you know what else it's doing? Your NEAT drops, your non-exercise activity thermogenesis. And so that's your steps, your incidental movement, the way you fidget and move throughout the day. And when calories drop too hard, your body unconsciously starts conserving energy as well. So you move less without even realizing it. You take the lift instead of the stairs. You sit more. You stop pacing around. You stop fidgeting. Your metabolism slows, not because it's broken, but because it's adapting to a lower output. It's going, hey, We don't have enough food coming in, so we're going to make you do less because we just need to reduce how much we actually need in a day. It's like you're cutting your budget down. If you suddenly have a big pay cut, you're going to adjust your expenses so that you can live within your means. Your body is literally doing the same thing. It is adjusting to its lower input. So when you diet for a really long period of time, or the more aggressive the deficit, the more intense this metabolic adaptation is, and your body gets really good at doing more with less. So that 1200 calorie approach that worked for 2 weeks, then you're still doing it 6 months later, or at least trying to, suddenly it stops working. And it's because you're sitting there starving, not losing, not moving, not doing anything, having no energy, and your body's adapted because it's like, well, guess we're stuck at 1200 calories for the rest of our life. We better make sure we can function on it and not die. That's literally what's going on. I know that sounded really morbid, but it's literally what's going on. So that is the problem is the approach. A more moderate deficit, around 250 to 500 calories below your maintenance, or 15 to 20% below your maintenance calories, is where results happen without your body going into full defense mode. You'll lose body fat. You'll actually preserve more muscle, because when you lose muscle, you also reduce your energy output, and you'll still feel human, and you can actually sustain it. And it's less of an impact on your body going, imagine going from like 1,000 up to 2,000 up to 1,000, like huge jumps of calories like this is a huge impact on the body. Whereas if you can do smaller adjustments within a smaller window, it's less impactful on the body, less of a freak out that's happening. Again, bank account. If you saw your bank account, you had all this huge savings account, and then you just cut it all out, you kind of freak out and go, oh my God, where'd all my money go? It sucks. It takes a big hit, right? So if you can keep it within a tighter window, you don't freak out as much. Well, that's at least for me. I don't know about you guys. Okay, so what do we actually do? Here's what we know why. So now we know why hunger happens, and we know why aggressive deficits make it worse. So let's talk about what actually is going to help. So strategy 1, prioritize protein at every single meal. Protein is the most satiating macronutrient. It keeps you fuller for longer compared to carbs or fats. Fiber as well, though. Fiber will really help keep you fuller for longer as well. But it also protein has a higher thermic effect. So meaning your body is burning more calories just by digesting it. It's not a huge amount, but every little 1% can count. And it's also absolutely essential for preserving muscle while you're in a deficit when combined with resistance training. Protein alone doesn't do shit if you're not giving the body stimulus to utilize the protein. So the protein is like the building bricks, but without the builders or a blueprint, it ain't going to do anything. It's just going to sit there and chill. But if you have a builder and a blueprint and you have the bricks, then you can actually build a house, and that is resistance training paired with protein. So if you're a woman doing resistance training, which every single woman should be doing strength training, you should be lifting weights to protect your muscles and your bone density. This is a non-negotiable for life. Then roughly, anywhere for most women, 120 up to 160 grams of protein per day tends to be a pretty sweet spot. You really don't need to be going much above. I've never programmed, to be honest, a woman over 160 grams of protein. It's not common and it's not necessary. And I've very rarely programmed under 120 grams of protein. Again, it's very rare. So usually that's a pretty sweet spot. And that sounds like a lot if you're not used to it. But when you hit it, you'll notice how different you feel in your body. So think chicken, fish, high protein yogurts, cottage cheese, eggs, extra lean beef mince, prawn, salmon, tofu, any other soy products, protein powders. These are all your best friends. Okay, strategy number 2, volume eating. So the goal is to eat a high volume of food for fewer calories, not less food. Cutting portion sizes is one of the worst strategies women try to make on a fat loss journey. Smarter food choices, high volume for lower calories. So one example is non-starchy veggies. These are your weapon here. Best friends: broccoli, spinach, zucchini, cucumber, capsicum. And even the starchy ones, you just need to make sure you track them, like carrots getting up there a little bit. Lettuce and stuff like that is like free for all. You can eat enormous amounts of these for almost no calories. They fill your stomach physically, they contain fiber, they slow down eating, they help to keep you full, and also all the other amazing health benefits of eating a range of fruit and veggies. Pair that with a lean protein and a good carb source, so potato, rice, oats. Potato is your best friend in a fat loss phase, especially Spud Lights. Boiled potatoes in particular have the highest satiety index of any other food, but you can cook them in so many different ways. Potatoes they go with everything. They're life. And then you have a meal that is genuinely satisfying and filling and not a tiny little half a little plate of food because you're on a diet. You can eat a big ass plate of food on a fat loss journey. It's not about the size of the meal. It's about the calories that are in the meal. Like some women will just have some crackers and a slice of cheese, same or even more calories, zero satisfaction, and you're starving again in 40 minutes. Have real ass meals. Volume eating is where it's at when you're on a fat loss journey. Strategy 3, spread your protein out across the day. Don't save it all for dinner. So many women make this mistake. They say your body can only use so much protein at once for muscle protein synthesis. Not really true. Like, they have studies where people do just eat like 100 grams of protein in one sitting versus spreading it out throughout the day. And the results aren't that different, but like digestion-wise, energy-wise, appetite-wise, we're talking for fat loss goals here. Spread your protein out throughout the day. It helps to keep you more stable energy. So aim for 4 to 5 eating moments across the day, 20 to 30 to 40 grams of protein per serving. Each one is always anchored with protein here. This keeps ghrelin more stable, keeps hunger more manageable, keeps your muscle building machinery switched on throughout the day. Because when you do have a certain amount of protein, it switches on muscle protein synthesis. So it like kind of keeps the process going all day long. Your body doesn't store protein like it does store carbs and fat. So it is advantageous to spread it out throughout the day. The myth that you can only absorb 30 grams in one meal is like bullshit. That's not a thing. But like it is advantageous to, constantly dose yourself with a little bit of protein. Does keep the body a little bit happy, but it also depends on what works best for you. But on a fat loss journey, I think it's very beneficial. Strategy 4, don't confuse thirst for hunger. This sounds basic, but it is genuinely always overlooked. Thirst signals and hunger signals feel very similar, but before you reach for a snack, between meals, have a big glass of water, wait 10 minutes and see if your hunger passes. 2 to 3 liters of water is the baseline, and more if you're training or if you live in a warmer environment. And so many women struggle to get 1 liter of water, which boggles my mind. I drink 1 liter of water before like 8 a.m. in the morning. Like that is part of my routine, is I just have so much water before I start the day, before I drink my coffee. Water, non-negotiable. I have literally at least 750 mils before a drop of caffeine, which is sad because I love coffee. But like, hydrate before you caffeinate. It's actually really not that hard to drink enough water. And yes, oh my God, you got to pee a lot when you first get it started, but your body does adapt over time. But also, it's not a bad thing to have to pee a lot because it means your body is doing all the things, flushing everything about, doing what it's supposed to be doing at the same time. Okay, strategy 5. Check that your deficit isn't too aggressive. If you are constantly severely hungry, like can't focus, obsessing over food, hungry, that is a sign your deficit is just too steep. It's like, just come out of it a little bit. Either spend a bit of time completely at maintenance, have a good juicy break to really get rid of the food noise. The amount of women I've had who I've coached, who I support them to eat enough food first before we start a fat loss phase. We always make sure our women are in a good spot before we start. And the amount of women who are like, oh my God, I don't have any food noise. My cravings have really settled down. Oh my God, I've never felt this good. And I'm like, yeah, because everyone's not fueling their body properly. Stop fearing carbs. Start actually eating properly for your body. And the reason why most women are like, oh, but maintenance, I always put on weight. Like, nah, dude, if you put on weight when you're at maintenance, you're not at maintenance. That's a surplus. And most of the time, it's not even that, but I was only at 2,000 calories. No, your maintenance is probably 2,000 to 2,300 calories. You weren't eating between 2 and 3,000 calories consistently. You may have been doing that a couple of days and then you go out and blow it out at like 4,000 calories. I'm exaggerating a little bit, but the issue is most women don't actually stick to their maintenance calories. They think they are, but they don't. And so therefore they think that their maintenance calories are lower than what it is. But it's like, no, you just weren't consistently hitting your true maintenance calories for long enough. You just were ebbing and flowing too much. You were too flexible. If you're too flexy and go too wild, then yes, you are going to put on body fat. So you've got to kind of balance it out. I digressed. If your calorie deficit is too aggressive, you will get very hungry. It's a signal that is too steep and your body can't handle it. Some women can handle bigger deficits. Some women can't handle the biggest deficits. Your body it's down to your hormones and how your body is wired, and you need to accept that sometimes your speed of fat loss may be slower than what you expected or what other people can do because of how you can handle a calorie deficit, how your body and your hormones can handle a calorie deficit as well. Everyone's going to be a little bit more sensitive to it. But over time, if you drop some body fat, you let your body kind of resettle at that, you sit at maintenance, then you can go again. It kind of recalibrates your hormones. So if you can kind of hang out and learn to maintain at each phase of your fat loss journey, then it will also help to recalibrate so you're not starving and hungry all the time. It can help to settle things along the way. Think of it like a stepwise process rather than a straight line down. But a deficit that makes you binge at the end of the week is not a deficit. It is a yo-yo cycle, and it's one that over time makes fat loss harder. Sustainable looks like a mild to moderate hunger before meals, but not extreme hunger that just takes over your day. So being in a deficit is not supposed to feel like an absolute punishment. Yes, you might feel a little bit hungry before meals. That is normal. That's a healthy signal that you're in a calorie deficit. But you should not be you should not be grinding your teeth every single day trying to get through it. If food is all you can think about, if you feel like you're one bad day away from a binge, that is not strength. That is your calorie deficit is not working for you. And like I mentioned, the women I see who get the best results, they're not miserable. They're eating real food. They have enough to train. They feel good. The deficit is there, but it is not torture. And that is the goal. Not the most aggressive one, but the most sustainable one for a short amount of time, because we go through a fat loss phase and then we come out, we go into maintenance, and we go into a fat loss phase and we come out to maintenance. So when I say sustainable, I don't mean sustainable for a really bloody long time. I mean sustainable long enough to get results and then maintain them. So, recap. Hunger in a deficit is real. It is your body doing its thing. Your hormones are working exactly as they have designed. Leptin drops, ghrelin rises, your body pushes back. That's normal. And the solution isn't always toughening it out. It's building a smarter deficit, moderate, protein and fiber anchored, volume based, that works with your body instead of against it. And if you have made it this far into the episode, if you want to jump onto my Instagram and message me hungry, and maybe just tell me that you came from the podcast so I know. Message me hungry. I'll send you a cheat sheet that I give to all my clients. That's like high volume, low calorie foods so that you know how to build your calorie deficit plate. So much easier. All right, see you in the next one. Thanks so much for listening. If you found this episode valuable, please rate, review, and subscribe. And I'd love if you shared this on your Instagram and tag me Sammy_livestrong. And if you'd like to learn more about my coaching and join the Project Livestrong family, please message me Livestrong on Instagram and I'll see how I can help. I'll see you next time.